and give you a few information about how this session will be led and organized. My name is Gian Michele, and I'm the school psychologist here in UWC Dilijan. I'm an alumnus myself from UWC Adriatic. I have collaborated so far with several UWC national committees, and in 2016 I joined UWC Dilijan as the school psychologist. My experience has been really beautiful so far, and I'm really happy to be still here, and then I look forward to meeting all of you, hopefully in person soon. Now, during this session, first of all, I will ask Madhu and Dr. Nara to introduce themselves once more, speak about their role in the school, and then Madhu is going to give a short presentation about the services and the services that the school will offer to support you and to facilitate your experience here in the school. Soon after, then, I mean, we hope that there could be some comments and some questions coming from you, or any consideration, any impression that you want to share about the start of this new exciting and challenging experience. Then we shall have a short break, and then I will invite the peer listeners. They will tell you more about their role. They will introduce themselves and speak a bit about their experience as students last year, and also their role as peer listeners in trying to provide peer support to all of you. And then, as you know, like in the afternoon, there will be some breakout sessions in which you will be able to discuss again together with the peer listeners to explore more in depth some of the topics that we shall try to cover this morning. The general framework of this session is that we are really happy to share with you a positive message that, I mean, we are here to enjoy this experience and to learn from each other. Yeah, this is the spirit of UWC. Of course, in any experience there will be some challenges or some ups and downs, and that's why in the school we thought about creating and offering some services and to have some structures in place so that you can feel supported, and you can feel that there are some people here specifically to support you and to make your experience easier or more enjoyable, or to allow you to learn even from incidents or mistakes that we can all make. This being said, I would like to invite Madhu and Dr. Nara to introduce themselves, and then Madhu can start with the presentation and we can move on.
Okay, hello everyone. Actually, I think if you are on campus, you have met me. So I'm Madhu, the head of residential life. And I like to solve problems for students. And when they have problems, they can come to me anytime, every time. And I try to help you with problem solving generally. Saying that, I would say that being in UWC is an opportunity, but it is also very challenging. And for the first years who have made an effort to come to Armenia or are making an effort to come to Armenia, you are already showing your determination and your courage. And these are potential characteristics of a change maker. So you are already doing something which shows that, yes, you can change the world. And that's what we are here to try to make a difference and change the world. In terms of UWCD, I just want to emphasize, amongst all the UWC values, we put caring as the heart of everything. We think this is your home for 2 years, and that's why we try to make sure that you feel at home here, you are supported, you are cared for like you would be if you were at home. And that's why this session is all about caring, your well-being, how we can help you and support you to grow to be that change maker that you want to be. So I will do a small presentation on who you can talk to about what and where you can get the help from. But before doing that, I'll invite Dr. Nara to introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. Probably all of you didn't meet me yet. So you are very, very welcome here on campus. It's very nice to see you around. So I'm Dr. Nara. I will be here, let's say, every time when you need me. About my experience, I've been working for more than about 25 years in the hospital for children, in intensive care unit for 20 years. And now I'm working here for 5 years already, and I'm happy here. So you give a lot of motivation to us. And as Madhu said, it's the same with me. I am always here to help. If you need any help, you will find me here. Our medical center is open 24/7. It's only maybe a short time when nurses go to cafeteria, you will find it closed. But otherwise, this is open, and if you need me, nurses will always find me. I will tell you how we work. If you need any help, after your quarantine will finish, just come along to the medical center and explain this to the nurses. If they cannot help, they will call me and I will organize whatever you need. If it will be any problem, language problem, I don't know, some misunderstanding, I'm also available on phone. You will call me from the medical center and we will discuss all your issues. What I want to ask you, please, let's try to keep healthy lifestyle this year, because in most cases, like according to my short experience, let's say 4 years, 5 years already, but most cases are connected to your routine day, how you organize it. If you sleep well, if you eat well, if you rest enough, so you will be fine, believe me. Otherwise, we are always here to help. Now probably we will go to Gian Michele again. Gian Michele to continue, or Madhu will continue?
Madhu is going to give a short presentation now, and then
if you
facilitate the session. Thank you. And I leave the floor to Madhu again.
Okay, I will share the screen now. Okay, right. Hang on. My screen is not being shared for some reason. I don't know why. It's sharing only the... Okay, right. If I cannot share the screen, I will just talk you through it. It'll probably be a bit boring, but it's okay. I will talk you through the presentation. Okay, so currently you are locked in campus. And so we have support system on campus. However, life is not going to be like this. Probably you will be able to go out. I'm hoping, I do not know, but we always hope for the best. So therefore, when you go out, what kind of support you have in Dilijan or even in Armenia if you travel out of Dilijan. So we'll talk about all the support system, although now we are confined to campus. There are 3 support systems: academic support, pastoral or caring support, and peer group support. So who can you talk to? If you have a problem, who do you talk to? Talk to anyone you trust, anyone you feel comfortable talking to. Head of college, deputy head of college, myself, your mentors, student parents, teachers, and their doctor, the IBDP coordinator, learning support coordinator, school psychologist, your university counselor, your CAS coordinator, the outdoor team, and there are non-academic staff who are helping out in the administration, and finally the peer listeners and your peers. So all these people are available for you to talk to, provided you are comfortable talking to one of them. What will your trusted person do? They will try to provide you a solution if they can. If they cannot, will get you help by passing the information to the right person who has the ability to help you. Just a minute. And remember one thing, if the first solution is not enough, you can always approach another trusted person. If you think the person who you trusted did not give you the best solution, you can always reapproach that person or ask another person. The information that you provide, maybe sometimes it is confidential and is treated as confidential to the extent that it will be passed on only to those who need to know to give you the help. We do not talk about your information to everybody and anybody unless we need to get that help. If you come to me for help and it is beyond my capacity to help you, and I need an expert like Dr. Nara or John Michele, or I have to go to Sophie or Gabriel, that's all I will do. I will not share this information unless I need to. If I can solve it myself, I will do it. If I can't solve it, I'll tell you, sorry, I need to get help from somebody and I need to share this information with somebody. And I'll tell you that. And every adult or everyone you speak to, even your peers and peer listeners, will do the same. If they can support you, they will. But of course, they are young like you. If they can't support you, they need help, they need to ask for that help. Okay? So none of us can guarantee 100% confidentiality. You need to understand this, as we have to work as a team to get you the best possible help. Okay? So there is a leadership team. The head of college is responsible for absolutely everything in the college. The deputy head of college, responsible for everything academic related, plus when the head of college is not here, Sophie, the deputy head, will be the head of college. Okay? So myself, I'm the head of residential life, and I'm responsible for everything related to your residential life. Then there is a human resource head who is responsible for staff related issues, not so much to do with you. Then there are accounts, finance heads who are responsible for everything related to money, not directly related to you, but of course, fees, etc. You can talk to your TUN parents who then will pass it on to me, and then I'll pass it on to the finance department if you have any issues regarding that. And head of facilities. The head of facilities is responsible for the building and all facilities that campus provides you. Okay. Now, currently, the deputy head, which is Sophie, is responsible for the coordination of the IBDP program. Suzanne will help with learning support, special education need. So anything you need regarding your special needs for your education and accessing materials, accessing your lessons, Suzanne will help you out with that. Armine is the CAS coordinator and responsible for all CAS related issues. Harvey will advise you on your university choices, before that your subject choices, so that you make the most of it, you enjoy your subjects, and you choose the right ones to go to the university with the right course that you want to go into. Mentors will be responsible for your personal and academic growth, and teachers will be responsible for your subject learning and developing your skills in the subject. So this is the academic support you have. And you can talk to any of them about anything If they are not specializing in that area, they'll pass it on to the person who specializes in that area. Then the pastoral. So in the pastoral team, I'm there. Then you have the tune parents. Your lovely tune parents have already written to you, reaching out to you. They're working very hard to make sure you feel at home. And I'm sure you all have seen their faces because they have been around the campus. And those of you who are not on campus, they're also reaching out to you. They will be basically responsible for everything related to your well-being and care. They are your parents here, and they take that responsibility. So they might be angry with you, they might be pampering you, but remember, this is the parental role. They need to discipline you and also give you that love and care that you expect from parents. So make sure you respect and understand how hard this position is, because parenting is not easy. And your parents must have said that to you. So make sure that you are listening to them, because they are the ones who will support you all the way through. And there are day tune parents who are responsible for all students in the residences during the day. Well, you are not allowed to be in the residences during the day if your lessons are going face-to-face. But otherwise, of course, you will be in the residences doing online lessons, and day tune parents will be around to help you out along with your tune parents. Of course, Dr. Nara introduced herself, so you know the medical center. She's absolutely responsible for everything health related. There are nurses 24/7, and if Dr. Nara is not in the medical center, one nurse will always be there, and they will contact Dr. Nara. And of course, John Michele, he has introduced himself already as the school psychologist. Anything emotional, mental health, psychological well-being, it's his responsibility, and he will support you. Then you have the peer support. We have total 12 peer listeners this year. 2 peer listeners in each tune. They are trained students. They're trained by John Michele, who are responsible for being there for you and then seeking the right help from the adults. Sometimes they might be able to help you without seeking any help from the adults. Sometimes they will need to ask for help from the adults. But they are a shoulder to cry on. But remember again, they are also young like you. So naturally, sometimes it can be very hard for them to do this job. But they're very, very brave. And they are very well trained that they can take this responsibility. So you can talk to any of them. You don't necessarily have to talk to the peer listener in your tune. All peer listeners are available to all of you. So who you feel comfortable with, go and talk to that peer listener. And your peers. All DP1 and DP2 students, you are responsible for yourselves and you are responsible for each other. Remember one thing, you need to take care of yourselves before you can take care of others. And that's why make sure you are leading a healthy lifestyle and a balanced lifestyle so that you can bring balance to the community. Okay, that's all from me. And then I'll hand it over to John Michele.
Thank you very much, Madhu. Let me just add a few information about my role so that it can become a bit more clear, and also the students can know a little bit more about what I do in the school. So I'm a psychologist, and I'm here to support you emotionally during this experience. I mainly provide psychological counseling or psychotherapy if necessary when you need emotional support. And beyond this, like my role is to, as Madhu mentioned already, to train and supervise a group of peer listeners, and they will tell a bit more about this, about their role and their experience. And I've also been, I sometimes provide some sessions on social and emotional life skills, and you will get to know a bit more this during the year. Now, what I want to make clear is that, you don't have to come and see me only if you have like a major issue, but you can come and see me anytime, even for sharing how things are going, even for asking questions. The door of my office is open if I'm not speaking to anyone, so please feel free to come and have a chat or have a conversation with me, and maybe say something about your experience here, or share the challenges that you're facing, or anything that you feel like speaking about or discussing. Yeah, my office is on the 3rd floor of the academic building. You will be introduced to the different rooms. It's next to the art department, but and I think that many other people know where my office is, so you can also ask them and find a way to come and see me, or you can email me. And in a few days, I will also send a message, an email to all students, so you also have my email. And in each tune, you will find also a little poster with some information about psychological counseling and psychotherapy, and with also my email, so you can get in touch with me anytime. Of course, also your tune parents and your mentor, they know what my role is, and maybe they can you can also discuss with them if you want to have some more information about what I do. Also, you know that you filled in a medical questionnaire before coming, so I may get in touch with some of you just to know a little bit more about yourself. This is only actually to have some information so that we can support you in the best way possible, and nothing more. This is like all from me. One more thing, like if during the year you feel that, for example, my presence can be necessary or useful in any activity going on in the school, like in your class or in your class activity, or if you organize a focus week, or if you want to organize any activity with your tune, with your mentor group, or with the students, and you feel that my presence or the presence of a psychologist can be necessary for giving a contribution to the activity that is going on, feel free to get in touch with me, and I'll be really happy to be there, to spend some time with you, and to give my contribution as you may expect. That's all from me. Nara, do you want to add any other information to what Madhu said?
Yes, probably I didn't get into many details, but one thing I want to emphasize really, please don't keep any medication in your rooms. This is not only for your safety, this is for your friend's safety also. I know you reported already who of you bring any medication. I'm in first years. I don't have this information now from second years, but I know some of you bring it. Please don't forget to bring them to the medical center. Now we are in lockdown, in quarantine. You can just give them to your tune parent, and we will collect and stock in medical center as soon as you need it. Of course, you will get it. Don't worry about this. What else I wanted to add? No, probably not. Not much. No. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Nara. So now I will leave the floor to all of you. So if you have any comments, any consideration, any question for me, for Madhu, or for Nara, Nara and Madhu will not be with us in the second half of the meeting. So if you want to put some questions in front of everybody, you can do it now. Or if you want even to share any impression about starting this experience, coming to UWC, being here, or about your motivation to be part of this environment and community, take this chance and feel free to share your thoughts and emotions. I think this can be really important, yeah, for all of us to listen to you, to listen to your voice, listen to your points of view.
And I will also add, if the second years are attending this session, I can see some of them. If you have any more suggestions that how we can improve our support system, how we can better support you, you can also tell us now so that we can look at it and see how we can modify our support system to give you even better support.
Yeah. And of course, also if any staff member is like willing to share something, you're most welcome to do it also now. But I see that Anna, you had your hand up.
I had a suggestion maybe for improving mental health in school. I think maybe having like sessions around the year about mental health and like a lot of like body positivity and health habits that like may help also second years, that even though we've been here for a year, I think sometimes we get overwhelmed with the atmosphere at school.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your suggestion. I mean, we are already taking into account the idea of having some either days or some sessions also about mental health for everybody, for first years and second years, so that we can start a dialogue and a conversation about the importance of mental health. So thank you very much, and we are working on that.
Okay, Anna, Maru, I will answer that question. Okay, yeah, correct. I should have mentioned that, shouldn't I? At the moment, we are looking to appoint 2 deputy safeguarding lead, but I am the safeguarding lead. So anything relating to safeguarding it comes to me, and on the deputy safeguarding lead only takes action when I am not there. Otherwise, anything related to safeguarding has to come to me, and I take it to the head of college, because head of college, myself, and the 2 deputy safeguarding lead who will be appointed soon, because last year there were 2 deputy safeguarding leads who have left us, so now we need 2 more to replace them. We haven't yet appointed them, but we will do that soon. And this makes up the safeguarding committee, and anything related to safeguarding, of course, is discussed in this committee. We have a governor also, who is the safeguarding governor, John Guyot, and he also gets involved if we need to refer it to him. So this is the safeguarding team.
Yeah, Maru, there's a comment from Maud. I think that if we can clarify what safeguarding is, especially for first years, you want to do that, and I can also then add something.
Okay. Safeguarding is, we are committed, and every school and college in the world are committed to safeguard children's rights and give you protection, to give you an environment where you can grow and develop healthily without being subjected to any kind of abuse, be it physical, mental, emotional, sexual, or any other kind of abuse, or any kind of environment which is harsh, which is not really conducive to your growth. And every college, every UWC has a designated safeguarding lead to make sure that you are protected in every way. So this is the role of the safeguarding team, and safeguarding is all about that. And John Michele will add a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the main idea of safeguarding and child protection is to keep people safe. So to look after any aspect of safety that could be physical or emotional or mental, and the idea is like to protect people whatever happens. And this applies, for example, also to what Madhu was saying about confidentiality. So anytime you share any private, any intimate information with any of us, these will be kept confidential. But there is like one limit to this, is that child protection comes before safeguarding. Child protection comes before confidentiality. Yeah. So if, for example, you share something with Madhu, and Madhu needs to share this information to protect you, she will do it. Otherwise, of course, that information will remain confidential. Or the same applies to me. Anything that you speak about with me will remain confidential. But if I need to do something to protect you, I will need to share that information maybe with 1 or 2 relevant people in the school. And this may apply to self-harm or to any situation in which somebody is at risk or the life of somebody else could be at risk. So it's our role as adults to listen to you, to support you, but also to protect you also physically. So keep this in mind, because this is really important for you to feel safe. And as I was saying at the start, we're all here to enjoy this experience and to learn from each other. But to do this, of course, we need a safe environment, and that's our role as adults.
And I think I will add to it that at any point, if you feel unsafe in any way, you feel free to come and seek help. How much small it is, it doesn't matter, because you should feel safe. You should feel happy here. And we will do everything to make sure that you are safe and you are happy here. And for that, we need your cooperation. If you don't tell us, sometimes we might not know. 228 students on campus, it's impossible for all of us to know what is going on with you or in your life. So therefore, please come and ask for that help, and don't feel ashamed or hesitant or anything, because every small problem, if it is a problem and if you don't solve it, it becomes a big problem. Let's nip everything in the bud so that we do not escalate it to a bigger problem. And believe me that we do not think this is silly, why this person has come to me with this problem. No, we do not consider anything like that. If it is even a small problem, if you have a very, very minute problem, please feel free to ask anybody, any adult, and they will help you. All of us are here committed to your safeguarding. All staff members are trained in safeguarding. So therefore, everybody will help you.
Yeah, I would add to that of course, like any time we feel that there is a challenge, maybe it's not easy to share or to ask for help, but I think it's really important that we can feel free to do that. Yeah, because we are not mind readers. I mean, we are here to help and to support you, and maybe we will ask you how things are going. But I think it's also a little bit your right, but also your responsibility to say if something is not working, to get in touch with the right people or with any adult in the community, so that you can feel that somebody at some point can give you the help that you need and you deserve.
Questions?
Maybe I will also add a couple of words. Sometimes you come with some complaints, and then you don't know really how to present them. Just really feel free to speak about this with me. Many things stay here in medical center with me, and they don't go further. Some students, alumni, they know about this, so this is really confidential. If I am able to solve your problem, this will not go further. Please also remember this, and come every time when you need a help.
I think it could be like important if any of you has also comments. I mean, how do you feel about starting this new experience? I think that this could be exciting, but maybe this could sound also challenging, and we know that emotions, they mix up, and that's understandable. So if any of you feels like sharing any comment, any consideration, or any question also about what Madhu, Dr. Nara, and I are speaking about, feel free to do that. I know that also having an online setting is not ideal for discussing these matters, but we have to try to do our best also with the restrictions that we have in this moment. And of course, if there is also any question from second years, from staff members, feel free to share them.
Are you all feeling safe here? A thumbs up will do. If you're feeling safe, just say thumbs up, show a thumbs up. Very good. Excellent. Good. At any point, anything goes wrong, and if you don't know whether it's normal, whether it's the right thing, you can ask us. That you might think that this is normal, but it might not be normal, because you are in a very diverse community with diverse challenges, diverse cultural identities, diverse thinking. So therefore, something might not fit your taste, something might fit your taste, and that's normal. But if you are in doubt, ask questions. Even little doubt, ask questions, and make sure that you are comfortable with whatever you are doing.
So any volunteer wants to say something about themselves, even like to share, I mean, some considerations about coming here, being here, starting this experience, any first year, any second year?
I'll ask another question. Is quarantine challenging? It is challenging. Bia is saying it is challenging.
Also for adults.
It is challenging for all of us.
For everybody.
For everyone. And how you are coping with it? What are you doing to cope with it? Anybody volunteer? What are you doing to, you can turn your microphone on and tell us what you are doing to cope with this challenging situation.
Hi. Hi, Madhu.
Yes.
Hello,
Karim.
It's challenging, but we also need to remember that we're more privileged than others, and that we have all the activities and all the things that we can still go out. We are still not quarantined only like alone. We have our own groups and people to interact with, and all the online activities. So it's challenging, but I think we're still better than others.
Thank you, Karim.
Thank you.
Thank you, really, because many people, they don't understand that they are locked in just 4 walls, and you have really all this privilege. You are absolutely right, Karim. Yeah.
Go on.
Go on.
Sport in our room. Like we put on a video and we do sport in our room.
Okay.
That's very nice, Nelly. Very good, excellent. See, you can be very innovative also. How you can cope with things, isn't it? And difficult times always give you more ideas to how to, how to make it easier for yourselves. And that's the right way to go about it, to find a way to make it easier for yourself. Well done. Very good. Others, if you are not doing it, you can start doing it. Nelly and Marlene has come up with an idea. Hello.
So I want to tell you how do I cope with challenges in this lockdown. It's somehow hard to be all the time in the campus, but I take into consideration, and we take into consideration that it's for our safety. But yeah, people around us and everybody is so nice and helpful. So we are playing games and talking with each other, and it really helps to be always motivated and happy.
Okay, can I
Yeah.
pass a test? Behind the mask, is it Edik?
Edik. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, Madhu.
Maddie knows everything.
Wow. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Great to hear that you are coping well in spite of all these challenges. And please reach out to us whenever you feel the need. Absolutely reach out to us, even for a very silly thing. I'm constantly emphasizing, nothing is silly, nothing is small. We are here to help you.
Anybody else wants to share how their quarantine is going?
Good morning.
Hello.
So we are in the hotel now, and like I really need sometimes some fresh air, like some more fresh air, and like I see Yerevan from my windows, and I'm so in love, and I can't just go outside, so it's hurtful, but still, I'm thankful for the opportunity just like to be here, because like I know that, for example, my co-years from other UWCs, they don't have such opportunity because, for example, borders are closed, or they can't get their visa, or some other circumstances, and I'm really worried about them, but still I can be here in spite of quarantine, in spite of all this stuff. So I think it's also privilege, because like it's hard times, but I hope everything will be fine, and soon we will be on campus. Everyone will be on campus.
Yes, Kristen, just
Thank you very
be a
much.
little more patient, and you will be here with us.
Till the end of week, huh?
And thank you for being so understanding. Thank you.
Any other comment? From DP1s, DP2 staff?
I think we can then have a break, probably, Elena.
Yeah. If there is like no more question now, then so at 11, I will be here with you, and the peer listeners will connect. They will speak about their experience as students last year, about also their challenges about being at UWC, and they will also focus about their role and how they can help you as peers. So have a break and take some time for you, and then we'll meet again here at 11 sharp. So we start like a new dialogue, a new conversation with all the peer listeners. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you to all of you who made comments, who put questions. I see that Sophie wants to add something before Linda.
I just wanted to check. I wasn't aware of the break. You can, I think, just use the same link.
Yeah.
And then rejoin, and then we will do it again. So I will stop this recording now, and then we'll do a new one later on.
Thank you. Or you can also remain connected, and with
of
if you want. I mean, we will use the same link. See you in a bit less than 50 minutes.
Okay.
See you soon.
Thank you, Jamike. Thanks, Sarah.
Hello, everybody. Let's wait 1 or 2 more minutes, and then I will introduce the peer listeners and leave the floor to them to start the second half of the session. Okay, I think we can start. So welcome back to this second half of the session on well-being. I want to speak about the peer listeners, and I want also in this moment the peer listeners to introduce themselves and to speak about their experience and also their role as peer supporters. So I think that they can do this maybe much better than me. So I'll be here to listen to you and to facilitate the session. But I'm really happy if to leave the floor to all the peer listeners who can be present and who want to speak about their experience. So who is starting? Any peer listeners who?
Okay, we'll start. We should have taken.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. So you can start, and you can also involve your friends.
Yes. Hello. So we're the peer listeners.
Some of them.
Also, yeah. Yeah, some of them. I'm Elizabeth. I identify as she, her. I come from Estonia, and I'm the peer listener of Lalvar, but as mentioned before, you can approach any of us, any of the peer listeners. So if you just want to talk, have some coffee on my balcony, I have a really great hammock, then you can just come by and we can chat. Yeah. Yep.
I'm Lily. I'm in Debed. I use she, they pronouns. Yeah. I'm from the UK. Like Elizabeth, I also have coffee, and I think we all normally have some chocolate for us. So like if you just want to come to us for snacks, I guess that's okay, but we also have good conversation. We will listen to you. And also like if you ever need to talk, like you can text us and arrange a meeting, or you can come up to us. Like there's also ways that you can do that.
Hello, I'm Garni. I'm Garni. I am Lebanese Armenian. My pronouns are she, her. I am an Arpa. And yeah, as like the others said, whenever you want to talk or just drink tea or have chocolate or go on a walk, whatever, you can find me in my room. I'm there most of the time, or in the music room. So yeah, whenever you want a chat or anything, I'm here.
Hi everyone, I'm Jade. I use she, her pronouns as well. I'm from the United States and Colombia, and I live in Maimeh on the second floor corridor. So if you, as everyone else said, if you want to chat, drink tea, feel free to come by my room or text me, and I'm there for you guys.
Hi, I'm Ru. I'm from Zimbabwe. My pronouns are she, her. You can come to me for tea too. Snacks. I'm the peer listener for MyMix, second floor corridor. We're a very good corridor. You can come to just like chill, study in the corridor with us. You can come to cry, laugh, you know, whatever. It's cool.
I am Solomon. I am Armenian Syrian and I am peer listener in Vardenis. And yeah, I have some good za'atar and some good Syrian food. So come whenever you want to me if you have anything to talk, or even if you just want to see me or anything.
Yeah, so I'm Jaap. I'm also a peer listener in Vartidis. I'm from Holland, and my personal guarantee as a peer listener is that I'll always have like food for you. So whatever, chocolate, tea, whatever you feel like, noodles, I'll try to have it for you. And you can always come to my room and just have a chat or hang out, whatever. You're always welcome.
So my name is
Hi. Sorry.
My name is Rahim. I'm an Agstev. I come from Nigeria. You can often find me in my room or in the common room doing math or physics. I'm a pretty big nerd. I can, of course, help you with your homework all the time. But if you want to talk about other things too, I'm sure always down for a chat.
Hi, my name is Frisia. I'm from Japan. My preferred pronouns are she, her, and I am one of the peer listeners for the Toon Lalvar. So I live on the 3rd floor of Mountainside. You're always feel free to come to my room whenever you want. We can always talk, cry, anything you want. Please feel free to talk to me whenever. And I'm actually still in Japan right now, but I will be there around the middle of September. So I'll see you guys in a few weeks.
Hi firsties, I'm Nayab. I'm a second year from Pakistan and I'm a peer listener for ARPA. Currently I'm in the orange zone and I'm with some great firsties here. We've already been bonding and I've been doing a bit of the peer listening already. But I am every time, all the time. I don't do a lot, I don't study a lot. So you can come to me whenever and I like talking, but I also love listening, and it's a part of the job. So whenever you just want to rant, you want to vent, you can always do that. And I give good advice sometimes. So yeah, I'm really, I'm really excited to meet all of you.
Okay, I think we are missing 2 peer listeners, right? Maybe they're busy, but I mean, do you want to speak about your experience as students last year and share your impressions with the first years? I know that your role is to listen, but I'm sure that you also like to talk and to share your thoughts.
Okay. So we actually, last term, we actually left before we got to continue our sessions, and we left before we actually, as soon as we got selected as peer listeners, we had to leave because of Corona. So we're actually new to this as well. But yeah, we're ready to experience new things. We're all excited to meet you. We've already seen firsties around campus, and it's so difficult not to like talk to you guys. But yeah, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, and I think like we were kind of learning from our second year peer listeners at the end of last year, and like it's kind of sad for us because we got that taken away, but also like I think now we kind of had the opportunity to kind of find new ways of doing this, and like a lot of us have been talking to firsties like before you came here and like just trying to help, and I think like yeah, we're just kind of here to to listen. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if it was mentioned before, but when you come to us as like for peer listener conversation, then everything you say to us is completely confidential. So yeah, you can be sure that everything you share with us will stay within to us. Yeah.
to the extent that we can keep it confidential.
Yeah, if your health or someone else's health is at risk, that's the point where we need to tell someone else. But even then, like it isn't told to like loads of people. It's told to people who need to know in order to keep you safe.
That's like extreme situations.
And I think like from a personal perspective, I think we've gone through the whole COVID situation has made us go through like a lot as students and as peer listeners too, because we had to be there for each other and ourselves too, from an emotional perspective. And I think because of that, we've grown a lot as a group and as individuals. So not to say that we're amazing peer listeners, but I think we've been through a lot. So I think we approach it differently. I think we're sort of, we're there mentally.
And also, like, about our experience, I think most of our experience comes from our second years, well, our peer listener second years, when we approach them, when we talk to them. So I guess because our second years were very good peer listeners and we were very close, like all like as like two generations. So yeah, that's as far as our experience goes, peer listening. But we know a lot. We just have to actually do it on campus this term. Something we didn't get to do last when we got selected. So yeah.
Does anybody want to share how the start of your experience was last year? When you came to campus, when you met so many new people, what was exciting, what was confusing? Can we maybe share some thoughts about this? Yeah.
So I'd say it was pretty hectic. I remember not sleeping all too much, but having a lot of fun, talking to a lot of new people. And it was also pretty overwhelming, for me at least. So many new faces, so many new people, and then you feel like you see so many things happening, and you kind of forget what happens. You do so much on a day that you forget how much you've done in a way. You see other people doing things which you're not part of, and then you feel like you might not be doing as much as other people. But I think in my case, I forgot how much I actually did on a day in the first couple of weeks. And so I think it's important to just let it happen, to do as much as possible, and it'll be all right. The first couple of days and weeks are quite confusing and can be really hectic, tiring, but they always end up well. So.
Anybody else?
Also, like when it comes to like the corona situation, so like it might feel for those people that are coming late to campus or are still like at a hotel or quarantined, it might feel like you're missing out on a lot of stuff. And that's also how I felt because I came late into the year. But as I came to realize, like you're gonna be here for 2 years, you're gonna be able to really develop a lot of bonds with people. So don't worry too much about not being able to like about being quarantined or coming late, because you're going to have more than enough time to make really great friends.
I can share a little bit of my experience. So personally, I'm a very, very shy person. So when I first came to campus, I found it very, very hard to talk to new people, and I was always waiting for other people to come and talk to me. But that's like totally fine. You don't have to push yourself to like socialize, and even if you don't push yourself, like a lot of people are super, super welcoming, and there's definitely going to be a lot of second years who are going to come talk to you. So please don't worry about that if you're shy like me. So yeah, just have fun, and I think that as time passes, you'll definitely blend in, and you'll feel like less shy around people, and you can have a really fun social life.
Thank you. Yeah, Naya?
Also with socialization, like since you're coming from so many different places and we have so many unique people with like their cultures and so much to tell you and for you to share, you might feel like you want to be constantly talking to people or learning new things, and that is great. A lot of people do that and they love doing that. But it's also completely okay to just want some space, which is something that I really felt in the beginning of the year, that although there was so much going on, I really needed to recharge my social battery, whether that meant, taking a walk alone on campus or going to my room, sitting down for a bit, calling someone who's back home. So it's completely fine if you feel like you're getting a little overwhelmed, and you probably will, because this is a very active place. There's so much happening. So just take out some time to go back to your room, or like to just relax, and then once you feel like, okay, you're more energized again, go back into all the activity and do whatever you want to do. But don't feel like you constantly have to be out there getting to know people or joining activities that are happening.
Yeah, thank you very much for making this point. Yeah, Garni? Oh, and sorry, I saw that two hands, like Garni and Ruba.
I was just going to reply to what Nayak said. I think spending time alone is very difficult, but it's very, very important, especially UWC, like it's a challenge. I realized that being alone was very important at the end of last term, and it was only then when I started going out by myself without anyone with me, just like reading a book without any work, without anything, just going out and thinking. And I think that's something very important. It tells you a lot about yourself, what's happening. It helps you in reflection, but it also helps you keep your mind blank. So I'm telling this to as many firsies as I can. I'm just like, train yourself to be alone, because it's very healthy. And sometimes because there are so many people, like it's just very confusing to do that sometimes. It's very difficult. So yeah.
And I think it's important to get to know yourself when you're on your own. Like the conversations that you have on your own are very, like, they might scare you, but like it's important to understand why they scare you. And I think another point that I wanted to say, like, you can approach us as friends too. Like it's not only when you say I'm approaching you as a peer listener that we're like, okay, fine, so like this is confidential. But like there's something that like we realize, okay, fine, like you're talking to us as a friend, and then we're like, okay, fine, this is now sort of becoming more than just a conversation, you know? It's not like you say at this point onwards, this is now confidential. We're like, oh, okay, fine. You know, like approach us as friends, you know, meet us in the corridor. You're like, hi, how's stuff going? You know, it's not like, don't avoid us when you don't want to talk about your emotions, and then come to us when you want to talk about your emotions. And also you can approach other people in the college, like other second years would like to talk to you too. Yeah, and first years too.
Or staff members.
Yeah, and staff too.
If I can perhaps chime in there, you mentioned the staff members. I was new last year, and I can remember one of my big challenges is dancing. I like doing it on my own, but I hate doing it in public, and there's an awful lot of dancing going on. But one of the good things about UWC is if you sort of run and hide behind a pillar, nobody will laugh at you. Everybody understands that that is something that you just can't do right now. It might be your personal challenge to try and do it later on, but that's actually okay to have those feelings. The other point I wanted to throw in is we have quite a lot of new staff this year, and they will also be in that situation. And it's also sometimes good to just talk to them and just sort of have that conversation. For the DP2s as well as other new students, DP1 students, we have the same feelings. We are also quite often confused. We don't know all the answers, and talking just really helps everybody. So that's just from my side.
Thank you, Sophie. We have a question coming from Carolina, I'd like to address to peer listeners and DP2, asking what's the best advice for those who are feeling homesick? Do you have any thoughts, any advice? I mean, of course, it's an open question. The peer listeners can answer, but also DP2s or any other staff member or anybody else is most welcome to express your point of view. We may all feel homesick, yeah. But did it happen to you, to any of you last year, or how did you? Or if you don't want to speak about any personal experience, I mean, how do you think that we can deal with homesickness? Maud?
I can respond to that as well. As a staff member who joined in January, I also really needed time to adjust to being here. And I was actually watching a video I recorded for some friends back in January to let them know how I was doing. And I was just saying, I really have no idea where I am. I have no idea why I'm here. And it really took some time to just feel at home and kind of remember what brought me here and why I was excited to be here. So I think my advice would be to just give it time as well, and also to react to what Raheem was saying. There's a really nice term for that I don't know if you're familiar with it, but FOMO, fear of missing out. And that's something I really remember from being in college as well, looking outside and kind of feeling like, oh, everyone's doing things, I need to be there, I need to join. And I think that's especially important to remember once you move into the green zone, that even though you're more free to move around, that doesn't mean that you have to move around all the time. Like you can, like, Nayab said, Garni said, Rue said, take some time for yourself, and you have 2 years to do all these things. So take it easy. Don't feel like you have to do everything at once. And you will feel at home. So just take your time with that too.
Another part of feeling homesick is probably missing what you had back home, of course, but like the stability you had in terms of family and friends and like environment that And so what's important to not forget is that you still have those things. You still have your family back home, your friends, you can call them whenever. And they give you that stability that you might feel like you're lacking here because you don't have a stable group of friends yet, or that stable person you really trust. And thus it's important to just keep in touch with back home if you feel homesick, because then okay, I have my friends back home, and now I can start working on building the same community over here. And that way you can make sure that you yourself aren't feeling homesick, because you know what you have back home, you know what you have, and then you can build a second home here in that way.
Thank you. Rahim?
So I would say that a way to combat homesickness is also to be able to maybe talk with your co-years from the same country. And I'm sure that not everyone has co-years, but they, like, for example, I was able to really bond with other Scandinavian students at this school because they had the same kind of culture as me. So maybe if you don't have co-years, you can bond with people that come in the same region as you, speak like the same language as you, and then I think that's a good way to fight off homesickness a bit.
Nayab?
Adding on to what Raheem said, I think your second years are also definitely like a very important part of your life here. So most second years are like really happy to have you. They feel like, they have responsibility to care for you. So those of you who do have second years, try to talk to them as much as you can, try to build a bond with them. But let's say for some reason, if you don't feel as comfortable with your second years, you have your toon parents, because for me, I wasn't super close to my second years, but I got very close to my toon parents and also some of my teachers. Like I was so close to my math teacher that I would stay in his apartment till like 1 a.m. talking about whatever came to my mind. So you have that option. Like you have a lot of people who want to be there for you whenever you need them. So I think it's just about finding who you're comfortable with, and you definitely will find those people. So don't worry.
Mm-hmm. Ru? Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be somebody from your country. It could just be people who make you, it could be some people who resemble your friends from back home. I remember for me it was my second years from Nigeria and Kenya. They were my connection to home, people who just make you feel home,
Of course, if there are comments or questions from first years, feel free to speak and to share how you are feeling in this moment. Nayab, yeah.
About what Carolina said, when you feel like you don't have privacy, I think that is a genuine concern here, because obviously sharing a room with 3 other people is not easy, especially for people who are not used to that before home, back at home. So I think something that in my room, what we did was whenever one of us needed privacy, we had a group chat, we would just text and be like, hey, I need the room to myself for a bit. And like, whether that's because you need to call home or maybe you're having a bad day and like you need to cry or anything, like you would just tell them that I need the room and this is how much time I need it for. And then whoever was in the room would leave and you would have that time to yourself. And apart from that, also once school starts and you have CAS, I think everybody's routines are so different that everyone is doing something at all times. So at many occasions, like I found that my roommates were like always out of the room. They had classes or they had classes at different times. So I would have that time to myself and I would just sit in the room. And on Friday nights, previously people would go out. So I wouldn't really go out a lot. So then also I had the room to myself. But if it's like your own room that you aren't getting a lot of space in, then you have like the common rooms, and then you have other places in the campus that are quite secluded. You have some rooms in the tunes that you can go to, and also the AB is a place. Like for example, I really like sitting in the visual arts room. Like it's really quiet at night and it's really calm. So that's also somewhere you can go. But for your own room, you can definitely talk to your roommates. Like they will facilitate you. So don't hesitate to do that.
Mm-hmm. I think we are focusing on like two sensitive points about being in a community like UWC. Yeah, sometimes we can feel alone, so we need connections to cultivate and to feel that there are people around us supporting us. Some other times we can feel overwhelmed by being all the time with some other people, so we may need some time alone. And I think it's really important we can learn to discern when we need to be with others and when also we need some time for ourselves, for thinking or simply spending some time with our own selves. Yeah. And I mean, thank you for making these 2 points clear, because I think they are really important, especially in community life. Yeah. The UWC experience, it is about connections, but it is also about, I mean, finding ourselves or finding a good balance between being with others and being with ourselves. Any other point, any other questions, or if the peer listeners?
So I wanted to add to what Nayab said. Yeah, it's very important that you communicate well with your roommates, and if you have any kind of maybe problems with them or things that you don't really like that they do, or like small things that can get in the way sometimes, but you should always try to communicate these concerns with them. It's better to do that than to like try to hide it away, because you are going to be with them for a very long time. So if you can have that kind of open communication with each other and tell each other what's bothering you, I think you'd enjoy your time much better.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I mean, these are also topics that you can explore in the breakout sessions in the afternoon, the lack of private space, or the fear of missing out, or loneliness, homesickness. There's usually like another topic that we think it's important to discuss also with the peer listeners, that is peer pressure. Yeah, does anybody want to say something about this? Are you familiar with this? Has this bothered you sometimes? I'm sure we all know what peer pressure is. Yeah, I do things not really because I want or I feel like, but maybe because I feel that there are expectations from others, from my peers, about doing certain things or saying certain things or behaving in a certain way, and maybe we don't really feel comfortable all the time about following paths or scripts that we are not familiar with or we don't really like. Now, does this happen, or how do you deal with this?
But I just think it's very important to be able to differentiate between peer pressure and encouragement from your friends, because when you're getting encouraged by your friends, it's actually something good and positive that has a positive impact on you. But when you're getting peer pressure, just sometimes pushing you out of your comfort zone too soon or making you do something for the reasons that might not be comfortable for you. So yeah, I just think it's very important to differentiate between when you're being encouraged by your friends and when you're being pressured to do something you don't want to do just because the majority is doing it. So.
Yeah, also, I think that in UWC, there's so many different people from different backgrounds, so there's these cultures that you're not familiar with, and people might do these kind of things that you may feel uncomfortable with, but you just, you don't have to feel pressure to do any of those things. And I mean, as far as I know, nobody will pressure you into doing anything. It's everything you should do because you want to do. And yeah, just never do something that makes you uncomfortable, and just hold the confidence to be able to say no to anything that you don't want to do.
It's also important to note that people might have different expectations of friendship from where they come from, or where like the culture they come from, the friends they have back home, and so they might do things or want to do things with you like which you might not be that comfortable with, like do something as like a friendship or ordering in or whatever. Whatever it is, if you don't feel comfortable, it's completely understandable. They might just not realize that it makes you feel uncomfortable because it's not what they're used to. So it's important to keep that in mind as well, to know that you might not hurt someone's feelings by saying no to them because it's just cultural difference.
Also, there definitely, you might feel pressured by your peers, but you also sometimes, I think people pressure themselves into doing stuff because they see it happening around them a lot. So I think it's very important to sit and think that, okay, yes, this is happening. Maybe I'm not used to it. So do I really feel like this is something I want to do, or what kind of implications does this have for me? So like before you do something that you have never done before in your life, something that you've always been shy to do or you haven't had the chance to do, because this place, like, you have so many experiences that are very new for a lot of us. So if you are encountering that kind of an experience, just make sure to sit and think for a bit that, is this really something you want? And what is it, you know, the consequences, what kind of consequences does it have? So don't pressure yourself just because everybody else is comfortable with doing something. Maybe it's just not for you, and that's completely fine. We're all very different and we come from different places. And that uniqueness that we have is what's most important to maintain, like, over these 2 years. So just try to remember that every step of the way.
Thank you, Frisia. Thank you. I think that what Frisia and then Jaap and Nayab were mentioning was, I mean, not only peer pressure, but also what we sometimes call cultural shock. Yeah, I mean, we all come from a culture, from a certain culture. Then we come here, we meet so many people coming from so many different places with so many different habits. And I mean, of course, we want to try new things, but maybe there can come a point in which we ask ourselves, okay, but what culture do I belong to? Yeah, it's what we may call sometimes that we end up in a conflict of loyalty. I mean, am I still the person I was before? Am I a new person? Who am I becoming? Do I like my new self? Now, does anybody want to comment on this? Which may be tricky sometimes, and that's understandable, I think. Right? Yeah.
So I would say that UWC is definitely a place for discovery and being able to become a new person, but you need to keep in mind that you are affecting other people just as much as they're affecting you. So your cultures are also, your experiences and your ideas also affect other people. So you shouldn't be shy to like have opinions about things that go against other people, or you shouldn't like worry about doing things a little bit differently as long as if it doesn't hurt anyone. So yeah, these are what makes a UWC, because we're not all the same, and it's important to keep that diversity between us.
Thank you, Raim. Jaap?
Adding on to what Raheem said, it's important to not be afraid to express your own culture and your own, ideas and thoughts and habits, but do it in a way that you respect others. So don't try to make sure you don't assume other people think the same way as you do, or act the same way as you do, or try and say the same things comfortable as you do. So just go slowly, I'd say, like poke and feel what is right and what is wrong, and of course express yourself in the way you want to be expressed, but make sure the other is comfortable in that way.
Thank you.
Also, I think that it's important, like, to ask questions about different people's cultures, but also, like, you need to respect that you won't ever be the authority on their culture, and like you always need to listen to what they're saying. And also, if you're talking to someone about their culture and maybe it gets into difficult ground and you can see that they might be getting like distressed or emotional, like sometimes I think it's good to maybe like lay off. I think sometimes like culture is a difficult topic, and it's not all the time that someone's ready to share, and people don't want to share all parts of their culture. And I know we're here in UWC and we all do want to share some parts, but other parts are very hard to explain and very hard for other people to understand. So I think whenever you're having these conversations, you do need to be aware of the emotions in the room and how it's all coming off as well.
Also, I think it's very important to, when you're talking to someone about anything, just like this small tip, just if they're not as good at English, like try talking slowly so they can fully understand what they're saying, even in tune times, because some people have very different backgrounds and maybe their first language is not English, and some people improve after 2 years or a year talking it, so just be careful about that. And also another point about cultures, it's very important to know that whatever we study or we learn in our countries are not always the reality of how the world actually works about cultures and countries. And when you meet people in WC, they're not their governments and they're not their countries, they're them. And it's very important to treat them as individuals rather than their countries, and listen to them, listen to their beliefs, listen to what they have to say. But it's very important for them to listen to you as well. And I'm directly like talking about conflicts maybe that your country or another person's country may have. So that's very, because you're never going to have this experience again to talk from someone who's like in conflict with where you come from, in conflict with your beliefs and culture. So it's very interesting to listen and to be listened, and just look out for that.
Thank you. Is there any comments or questions from first years? I think that the peer listeners and some staff, they're also giving their points of view, their impressions, and I thank them very much for their contribution. But is there any specific question, any comments? Feel free to share your thoughts. I mean, we are here to speak and to listen to each other. This is already like an exercise about reciprocal listening.
Should I explain the hand gestures quickly?
Sure, no, go ahead.
Okay.
Go on, yeah.
So if you agree with what someone is saying, you do your jazz hands, right? And then if you disagree with something, you do this gesture, which means respectfully disagreeing. If you want clarification on what someone has said, you make a C with your hand. If you want to add a point to what someone said, you put 2 fingers up. And if you want to add a completely new point, you put 1 finger up. And then, am I missing anything, or is that it? Oh yes, if you can't hear someone, you do this. So these gestures are actually really helpful, and you will see a lot of them on campus, so you might want to learn them and use them. So yeah.
Thank you. Of course, I mean, the UWC experience is also about the IB. Does anybody want to comment about academic pressure or about all the legitimate ambitions that anybody can have academically? How to cope with them? Yeah.
Yeah, so the IB might seem very scary, but in the end, we're all going to make it. It's going to be fine. I think we can all do this. But make sure that if you have any problems with it, don't mind asking anyone. So especially go to your teachers if you experience problems with the IB, with your writing of your essays, the homework you have, or what they expect from you in the lessons. Because that's what I struggled with a lot last year. I didn't know what they expected from me because it's so different from my school system back home. And so I tried to do it all on my own, but that didn't really work out. So make sure to just ask teachers for help, and students as well. They all have tips. Second years have so much experience in the IB, so they all know what's going on, how to do it better, how to really, like, they can give you like a head start. So make sure to just ask like crazy, and that will help a lot.
Thank you. Yep. Any other comment about the IB? And Carolina is also like mentioning the level of English that some first years may be worried about. Do you have also any tips? Someone?
I think, I mean, many people come from many different backgrounds, and many of them, all of us don't have the same level of English. But then because everything we do is in English, and like we use the language a lot, the skills will improve without even feeling, just by talking and not being shy that people might judge you because of your English, but only speak and talk, and then it will improve.
Right, Ru?
I just want to say that, like, if your English is bad, or if you don't think it's that great, please don't hesitate to like say, I don't understand the word that you just said, or please repeat that sentence. Please speak a bit slower. Please speak clearly. Like, no one will say, oh, oh, this person can't speak English, so I'm not going to speak with them. And no one's like that on campus. And of course, there is the English support system, and people will direct you to it. Like, okay, no, not people will direct you to it, but like there's the academic side of that. But then I'm saying, like, socially, like, people won't like judge you for it. So that's from the social perspective. And the English department is there to support you on that end. I think Sophie and Maud can speak more on that end.
Yeah, and I think also, like, coming from a native speaker, like, I know that like my English can sometimes be unclear. I can talk too fast, and I want people to tell me.
Yeah.
Like, I want people to tell me when they don't understand, because like it's also not nice. For instance, if you're talking to someone and they clearly won't understand and they feel very uncomfortable, because you just feel like, it's just not a nice like feeling, and we need to communicate on both sides, I think, in order to
Also, like, don't be ashamed, because like, you know other languages and you come from a completely different place. So just because you don't know English doesn't mean that like your English isn't like the thing that you need to read. Just like, you know so many other things, you know other languages, maybe a language, you come from a completely different background. So just don't be ashamed. It would have been the same situation if people were studying your language instead of you studying English. So,
and be very optimistic. Like, I've spoken to our second years who have said like they came and their English was much worse than it is now, and they're at a completely different stage. So be very optimistic. Like, people will help you throughout this journey.
Thank you. Any other thoughts? Any other comments? Any other questions? I mean, I guess we all know that the UWC experience is about sharing this time together to learn from each other, and the idea of the founder was to bring students from different countries and cultures so that they could learn from each other, and also use this experience to build peace outside in the world. But I guess that we know that it's very important. We cannot build peace outside if we don't manage to build peace in our own relationships. Yeah? And that's why I think it's important that we can all feel supported, and that we can all help each other. And let's also keep in mind that what happens in the school, it depends also on each one of us. Yeah, the community is something that we can all build together, and we may all feel responsible to give a contribution to support everybody else. Any other? Carolina is like mentioning your questions about the choice of subjects. I don't know if anybody wants to comment on that.
I would say that if you don't know what to do in uni, just choose whatever you like. Like, say, what do I like, and then choose it, because that's what you'll be good at. And then that's what you're gonna be like do in uni, even if you don't know now. I don't think anyone would do anything that they don't like in uni. And so even in starting from IB, choose whatever you like, and then this will be obviously a good choice. And then for choosing the wrong subject, I think you can change the subject at a specific time. So if the term starts today, you can change the subject in a month. I think Sophie can answer this better.
Yeah, I think that then Rahim and Yap, you had your hands up.
Sure. Yeah, so subject
Oh,
changes
yeah,
are super.
so
Go for it.
I
Rahim.
wanted to
Go.
say that teachers are usually very flexible. So teachers are really very flexible when it comes to choosing your subjects, and you can of course go into a class and try it out before you decide. And also, if you feel like something isn't for you after a few days, then I think many students last year had the opportunity to switch. So I think that you guys should also be able to do that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you can still have the option to switch for like a long time. So don't worry about choosing subjects now. You can just try out whatever you want. You can attend lessons to see what you want, what it feels better for you. And you can just really choose. You have freedom to switch very much in the beginning. In terms of uni, first of all, I wouldn't worry about that, like not that much yet. And second of all, these 2 years are going to be very shaping for you. So even if you don't know yet what you want now, you'll probably know it in 2 years. It's an experience which is going to help you a lot to know what you want, what you're interested in, what you like to do, what you like to study, what you like to talk about, and I think that's going to help you to choose your study later on. So I mean, right now, just be open-minded and see whatever you want to do. Just explore options, I guess.
If I can just add to that, I've just answered in the chat. We do have some restrictions with subject changes because of the timetable. It's not free choice, so the subject combinations have to work in the timetable. But of course, there is that first 4 weeks or even 6 weeks where things do move around quite a bit. And in some subjects, we have provided for that. For example, in maths, the different courses and the different levels are completely parallel in the beginning. So their changes are quite easy. But in some cases, it might be a little bit more difficult. So try and find out from Harvey what you need to do. Try and work out with your teachers if the subject is the right thing for you as quickly as possible. That would make it a bit easier.
Thank you, Sophie. Any other questions or comments? Yeah, Rahim? Sorry, Ru.
So
anybody?
Okay.
What I was going to say is that the teachers are very helpful in like the whole deciding what career you're going to pursue and university-wise and everything, because I think personally, I don't know if you can say the same, but the person I was before I came to UWC is very different from the person I am today, and I think the person I'm going to be at the end of the 2 years. Your perspective on the world is going to change, and I think so therefore the role that you want to play in the world might change. And so I think, for example, your mentors are going to see you out throughout this whole 2 years, and I think use them. I think I'd say I'm very close with my mentors. So I'd say get close with your mentor, get close with your teen parent, talk to them on a regular, tell them what's going on with your subjects, tell them what you're thinking. Like if you decide you want to do medicine, then tomorrow you want to teach, like talk to them, And I feel like what was important for me was realizing that my parents don't really know what's going, like, not that they don't know what's going on, but they're not really sure like how the UWC liaises with the IB. So I think talk with your teachers because they understand like the whole confusion with that, the mess. So I think talk with your teachers, understand what's going on, understand that they understand that you're confused, and yeah. There's going to be a point where you're just completely unsure of like, should you continue or like, should you work, university, gap year, like all of those things, but it's completely fine. Don't be frustrated.
Thank you, Ru.
Sorry. So what you can do is, for example, if you take philosophy, but you're also thinking about global politics, you can talk to your philosophy teacher and tell them, I want to skip a class to attend a global politics class and just to see what's going on. So you can do that with subjects. Of course, like if if it's not, it won't mess up your schedule or anything, but you can technically do that. You can talk to teachers, and yeah, you can just attend classes. I know a second year who was, he didn't take philosophy, but he really wanted to, but he couldn't. So what he did was, during his free block, there was a philosophy class going on with firsties, so he went and attended the class and just watched, and he didn't say like a word, he just like sat and watched, and he just like benefited from the class as well. So you can just like fit things around your schedule, and also like don't be afraid of taking arts. They're very
Yeah. Yeah, adding on Garney's point, I can say from experience, like before coming here, I was very uncertain of like my future plans or even subjects that I like or I'm good at. So for me, what helped was actually attending the classes and like meeting the teachers and like just testing out the waters, I guess, and then picking what was best for me. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think also,
oh, sorry.
and I think also talk to second years who are doing the subjects, if you have any contact with them, if you want to know their experiences, like what is actually happening in their classes. Yeah.
So I would like to add one point. It's regarding subjects that it's very important. Like a lot of people did stress on this, but I would like to do it again, that you choose subjects that you genuinely do like. Because I was initially one of those people who were like, this subject will look good for university. And that's kind of what I went for. But then I realized that if you really don't enjoy the subject, even in CASs, like CASs or your subjects, like you should like the things you're doing, because the nature of the IB is, at least the way I perceive it, that you really need to go deep into what you're studying. So if you don't like what you're taking, then you're really not going to enjoy that process. So like whether it's your HL, especially with your HLs, try to take stuff that you like, stuff you really want to know, like in depth, the basics, everything, because it's very detailed. And if you really like that subject, it's going to be like a very fun experience. It's nothing like you've done before. And apart from that, but there is always that possibility that you might take a subject that you know nothing about, but then you end up loving it. So it's not all about being negative. There is that option, because for me, like, we don't have philosophy back home, and I came here and I was like, I want to try philosophy, and I did, and like it's really one of my favorite subjects, although I'm taking it at an SL, so like I really enjoy learning it. So it's really just about try to go for the stuff you like, but then you might also end up liking stuff that you didn't know you would. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other comment? I think.
So don't be scared to drop subjects, for sure. Even if you thought when you got here or before coming here, like, oh my God, Glopo is going to be so fun, but it turns out to be not as fun as you thought, then don't be afraid to drop it and do something else. Even if you had your mindset on something, it's important to keep in mind that there are so many other options, and just to, keep a subjective view of it.
Thank you. Rahim, you had your hand up?
Yeah, so I just wanted to stress the point that it's really important to talk with second years about the subjects. They can show you like what you actually be doing. They can even talk to you about how the teachers are, or so you can get an idea of what to expect when it comes to the subject, especially for the teachers that we already had. We're getting a lot of new teachers this year. I also wanted to talk about universities. So it's from what I see, it's only actually British universities that really care about what subjects you take in the IB. So you shouldn't really worry about that too much if you're not planning to apply to Britain. And even then, it's not that harsh. So try to just find something you like to do, and there will always be opportunity for you to, if you change your mind, things will not be too bad.
Any other comment about the IB, the difficulties about the academic program, or any other issue or challenge in the school? And we have a few minutes before concluding. Yeah, yes.
If you don't have any previous IB experience, it can be pretty challenging. I can relate. And I'd say, once again, just ask for help. Like, really don't think like I can do this on myself, because in my old school it went good, so it should be good here. Because that's what I thought. I had fine grades back home, but then the grades here were a bit less than what I expected because I didn't ask for help. So make sure to just ask for help for anyone. I think that's gonna get you through IB. Nothing else. Just hard work and asking for help, and that'll make your work a lot easier, at least.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Any other comments?
So I think the combination of IB and UWC is what really makes it difficult for people. So I would say that the best way to do well in the IB while also being able to enjoy what UWC has to offer is to really manage your time well and to know when you're going to spend time on academics and when you're going to spend time with friends or other kind of activities. Because when things are always going on and when there's always people doing something, it's very easy to kind of let your work go on the side. So it's important that you have schedules and plan well when you're going to work and when you're going to play.
Thank you. I think we've been sharing a lot of information about well-being, about support. But then I guess we also now need to leave everybody some time to process all this information. If anybody has any other thing that they want to share, and I guess I guess it's also well-being. I want to share this. Well-being is not a matter of following protocols. Yeah, well-being is something a bit more, I guess, maybe a bit more tricky. It's about connections. It's about listening to ourselves. It's about listening to our emotions. It's about building relationships. And I think that this is something that we can learn. We are here to learn on this. Yeah. I don't think it's a matter of following a technique or having a checklist. I think it's something a bit broader, but also much more fascinating and exciting, I would say. Of course, we can all have ups and downs, but think that you're not alone, that there are a lot of people here to support you, that we are here to make the best out of this experience. Okay, I think I can leave you. You're going to, those of you who are on campus are going to go to cafeteria soon. Any final comments? Sophie, you want to add anything else before concluding?
Just from my side, that I thought this was a really helpful session. I don't know about DP1 students, but to me, you were all really reassuring and lots of practical advice. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I really would. I'm really thankful to all the peer listeners. Thank you very much. It's really nice to have your support, and I think that you're also a good example for the students. But this applies also to all second years. I'm really happy to be back to UWC because I really feel that this is an exciting place and an exciting experience for everybody. I'm sure that the first year will have the chance to enjoy their time here, to learn a lot, and let's also keep in mind that we are here to support each other anytime and anything that happens. Okay. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your quarantine. And for those of you who are not yet in Dilijan, we're all looking forward to seeing you here. And enjoy your day and your afternoon. You will have some breakout sessions in the afternoon in which you will be able to continue to explore these issues, maybe in smaller groups. Otherwise, enjoy your day and your afternoon, and see you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you very much to everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.